Okay, let's unpack this. Welcome back to another deep dive.
Good there.
Today, we're plunging into a market that's, well, it's not just growing, it feels like it's exploding.
Mm-hmm.
The global market for process monitoring software.
That's right.
We've got our hands on this really comprehensive report, Process Monitoring Software, a global market insight.
Yep. Got it right here.
And our mission today is basically to cut through all that data and pull out the absolute most important nuggets of knowledge for you.
Sounds good.
We'll explore why businesses everywhere are, increasingly desperate for operational efficiency, for that crystal clear visibility and intelligent automation.
And what's fascinating here, I think, is that this isn't just about small improvements anymore.
Right.
This market's rapid expansion, it fundamentally underscores how critical these tools have actually become.
How so?
Well, think of process monitoring software as kind of like the nervous system for a modern business.
Okay, I like that.
It lets you see, in real time how every single operation, everything from maybe a customer click all the way to a product delivery, how it's actually performing.
Wow.
It's about knowing where the bottlenecks are. Yeah. Where you might be wasting resources. And crucially, making sure you're compliant with all those complex data regulations.
That's a huge one.
It really is. It's a shift from just sort of doing business to truly deeply understanding it.
That's a fantastic analogy of the nervous system. And when you look at the actual numbers, that explosion I mentioned, it isn't really an exaggeration, is it?
Not at all.
The global market was already pretty substantial, just over, what, $1.5 billion in 2021?
Incorrect. 1,526.69 million, to be precise.
Right. And it's projected to surge to nearly $3 billion, $2,883.9 million by 2025.
A big jump in just a few years.
But here's the real headline grabber. By 2033, it's forecast to, well, skyrocket over $10 billion, $10,290.5 million. We're talking about growth of roughly 7 times its 2021 size. That's sustained by this incredible compound annual growth rate, the CAGR,
Yeah.
hovering around 17.235%.
Yeah, and if we connect that to the bigger picture, that kind of sustained rapid growth, it isn't just impressive on a spreadsheet.
No.
It signals a really fundamental change in how businesses are operating globally.
Yeah.
It means these tools, they're no longer just a nice to have.
Definitely not.
They're becoming absolutely indispensable for managing workflows, for driving automation initiatives, and for meeting those increasingly tough compliance requirements in this data-saturated world we live in.
Right.
It really reflects a universal recognition that, well, what gets measured actually gets improved.
Okay, so huge global trend. But let's zoom in a bit.
Yeah.
North America. Perhaps unsurprisingly, it's still leading the charge, right?
It is dominant position.
The region generated over $600 million in revenue back in 2021. That's $600.623 million. And it's projected to reach nearly $4 billion by 2033, $3,900.12 million to be exact. Still maintaining a really robust annual growth rate, around 16.76%.
Still very strong growth. Yeah.
But here's where it gets really interesting, I think, within North America.
Okay.
The United States, naturally, it dominates the region just because of its sheer market size. $505 million in 2021, growing to over $3.2 billion by 2033.
Right. Massive share.
But if you look at Canada and Mexico, now their overall revenue figures are smaller, of course. Canada was about $56 million, Mexico $46 million in 2021.
Much smaller base.
But their growth rates, their CGRs, are actually slightly faster than the U.S.
Yeah.
Canada's at 17.688%, Mexico at 16.969%, both comfortably above 17% annually.
That is interesting, and it's a great point.
What do you think that is?
Well, these figures, they highlight the maturity of the North American market overall, especially the U.S., which, has been an early adopter of advanced BPM automation strategies.
Right, they jumped in early.
Exactly. But the slightly faster growth, the accelerated growth in Canada and Mexico, it suggests that those economies are, well, they're rapidly catching up. They're eager to leverage the same efficiencies, the same compliance benefits that their larger neighbor has already embraced.
So it shows that widespread understanding across the continent. This tech is basically a prerequisite now for competitiveness.
Precisely. You need it to play the game effectively.
Okay, let's move across the Atlantic. Europe, also seeing the very strong momentum here.
Absolutely. Very promising growth.
The continent's revenue for process monitoring software, it was around $330 million in 2021. $331.292 million.
Okay.
And it's estimated to soar to over $2.1 billion by 2033. so 2,109.56 million, growing at a very healthy rate, also near 16.7% annually. So very similar overall growth to North America.
Yeah, neck and neck almost in terms of the CAGR.
And when we break it down, Germany, as Europe's largest economy, predictably leads. It's got an impressive growth rate, actually over 17.4% annually.
Strong performance there, $72 million up to nearly $500 million.
Yeah. The United Kingdom is also a significant player. $53 million, growing to $353 million, growing steadily around 17%.
Solid.
But it's not just the economic powerhouses. Countries like France, Italy, Spain, they're also showing strong, consistent double-digit growth. France from $41 million to $246 million. Italy and Spain both with KGRs just over 16% and 17% respectively.
Right, broad-based growth.
And even smaller markets,
Yeah.
Sweden, Denmark, Switzerland, Luxembourg, they're making significant strides. Many maintaining growth rates well above 14%. Sweden, for instance, $22 million up to $144 million.
And the rest of Europe combined is also growing strongly.
Yeah, that rest of Europe category, $38 million to nearly $246 million by 2033. That's a CGR of 16.777%. So really consistent across the board.
And Europe's robust adoption, I think it can be attributed to a powerful combination of factors.
Like what?
For one, there's a very strong regulatory environment here, much more so sometimes than other regions.
Right, things like GDPR.
Exactly. Those rules often mandate precise process monitoring, especially for data privacy and operational compliance. It's not just about being efficient, it's literally about avoiding massive penalties.
A big stick, then.
A very big stick. And alongside that, there's just a strong push generally for digital transformation across all sorts of industries, from manufacturing to financial services. European businesses are keenly aware that streamlining operations is absolutely crucial to remain globally competitive. And this software gives them the precise visibility they need to actually achieve that.
Okay. So North America leading, Europe consolidating strongly, but now, if you're looking for the real growth engine,
Yes, Asia Pacific.
let's shift focus there. This is the fastest growing territory in the entire market. It boasts an incredible compound annual growth rate, CAGR, of over 18%, 18.26% to be specific.
That's significantly higher than North America or Europe.
It is, starting at around $378 million in 2021, $378.619 million. This market is projected to reach an eye-watering $2.8 billion, $2,829.9 million by 2033.
Huge leap.
And within APAC, China is, as you'd expect, a dominant force. Robust growth there, from about $117 million to nearly $900 million by 2033. That's an 18.47% CAGR.
Very strong, leading the region in absolute terms.
The true standout, the region with the single highest growth rate in the entire report, is India.
Yes. Quite remarkable.
It's growing at an astounding rate of over 19% annually, 19.327%, jumping from just over $46 million, $46.57 million in 2021 to nearly $388 million, $387.696 million by 2033.
That is phenomenal growth.
Isn't it? And Japan, South Korea, Australia, they're also seeing consistent strong growth. Japan from $58 million to over $400 million. South Korea, $37 million to $260 million. Australia, $23 million to $155 million. All with solid KGR.
And don't forget the other emerging players there, too.
Right, like Singapore, growing at over 18.6%. Southeast Asia as a whole, nearly 19% CGR. Taiwan, rest of APAC, all contributing significantly, reaching over $150 million and $250 million, respectively, by 2033.
Yeah, the accelerated growth in Asia-Pacific, and especially in countries like India, it's truly fascinating to watch.
What's driving it, do you think? Is it different from Europe or North America?
I think partly, yes. Many businesses in this region are essentially, they're leapfrogging older technologies.
Skipping generations.
Exactly. They're directly adopting these advanced process monitoring solutions as they rapidly industrialize and scale up their digital operations.
So it's not just about catching up anymore.
No, I don't think so. It's about strategically building highly efficient, data-driven enterprises, almost from the ground up in some cases. The sheer scale of these emerging economies, plus a growing awareness among businesses about the critical need for operational excellence. That's what's really driving this remarkable acceleration.
Okay. So it's not just about the major economic powers or the established digital hubs then?
Not at all.
Because we're seeing significant, really exciting growth in other emerging markets too. It really underscores the global reach of this demand. South America, for example.
Right. Definitely on a significant upward trajectory.
Valued at under $100 million, $93.128 million in 2021, expected to hit over $650 million, $650.568 million
Right.
by 2033. That's an impressive average growth rate, approaching 17.5%, 17.568%.
Very strong indeed.
Brazil's leading that charge, projected to hit about $283 million by 2033. But countries like Argentina, Colombia, Peru, and Chile,
Yeah.
they're all showing very strong double-digit growth. CGR is above 17%. Chile is notably high at nearly 18%, 17.939%.
Yeah, widespread adoption there too. And the rest of South America adds another $71 million by 2033.
Okay, then turning to the Middle East, also robust expansion, right?
Similar story. From about $61 million, $61.068 million in 2021, projected to reach over $420 million, $423.662 million by 2033. The annual growth rate there is nearing 17.5%, 17.226%, and Turkey, all indicating a significant push for digital transformation in the region. Egypt, Qatar, others also showing consistent double-digit growth.
And finally, Africa, a continent that's maybe gradually but steadily embracing this digital transformation.
Yes, starting from a smaller base, but the growth trajectory is solid.
Its market was valued at just under $55 million, $54.961 million in 2021, set to rise to nearly $380 million. $376.737 million by 2033, still maintaining a solid average growth rate of nearly 17%, 16.786% annually.
Which is pretty consistent with the global average, really.
It is. South Africa leads the way there, projected at $148.5 million by 2033. Nigeria showing significant traction too, around $66 million, and the rest of Africa contributing about $162 million, all showing solid KGRs between 16% and 17.5%.
And what's really crucial to understand about these diverse regions, South America, the Middle East, Africa, is that while their starting points might differ, maybe their specific infrastructure challenges are different.
Sure.
The underlying drivers for adopting this software are remarkably similar across the board.
Which are?
It's that universal need for optimization, for shedding light on complex processes, for driving efficiency. That's the primary force behind this adoption everywhere. Even in economies that are, let's say, earlier in the digital journey, businesses are recognizing that these real-time insights into their operations, they're absolutely key. Key to sustainable growth and key to navigating an increasingly competitive global landscape.
So it really speaks to the fundamental value this software provides, regardless of where you are.
Exactly. It's a testament to that fundamental value.
So after diving into all these numbers, all these trends, what does this all mean for you, our listener? What's the big takeaway?
Oh, I think the core takeaway from this really extensive report is crystal clear. And it's actually quite profound.
Okay.
Process monitoring software. It's no longer some niche tool or a luxury item for big companies.
Right.
It has rapidly cemented its position as an absolute necessity across virtually every industry, every geography.
From Silicon Valley to Bangalore to Sao Paulo.
Precisely. From the tech giants in the U.S. to the rapidly scaling enterprises in India, from established manufacturing firms in Germany to burgeoning businesses in Brazil, organizations are unequivocally investing in real-time visibility, intelligent automation, and robust digital compliance.
That compliance piece keeps coming up.
It's huge. And the consistent double-digit growth we've just unpacked across both mature and emerging markets, it powerfully underscores this universal and frankly urgent push. A push to optimize operations in what's become an increasingly complex, data-driven, and let's face it, often volatile business environment.
It really is the backbone of modern efficiency then.
I think that's a perfect way to put it, yes.
Wow. Okay. So you've just gained a rapid, yet I think remarkably thorough understanding of a critical and fast-evolving market, one that's truly reshaping how businesses operate worldwide.
Indeed. And this raises an important question, I think, for all of us to consider beyond just this deep dive.
What's
As organizations globally keep accelerating their digital transformation and their reliance on these sophisticated process monitoring tools, how might this profound shift impact not just business operations and, profitability, but also the broader skill sets that are going to be required for the workforce and maybe even the strategic priorities across entire industries in the coming decade?
That is something to think about. Skills, strategy, it goes beyond just the software itself.
Absolutely. It's something to really consider as we all move forward.
Indeed. Well, thank you for joining us for this deep dive. We really hope this exploration has given you some valuable insights into this burgeoning world of process monitoring software.
Hope so too.
Keep learning, keep exploring, and we'll see you on the next deep dive.
Have you ever had that feeling that, like your business operations are running, but maybe a bit like a black box? You know it's supposed to happen, but you don't really see all the steps, the little inefficiencies, or maybe even where things are going surprisingly well. It's that sense of maybe not quite knowing your own operational DNA inside out. Today, we're doing a deep dive into process monitoring software. These are the tools designed to, well, shine a light on those unseen pathways. Our mission for you today is pretty straightforward. Pull out the really key insights from our sources about what's driving this market, what challenges pop up, and where it seems to be going next. Basically, giving you a shortcut to getting really informed about this pretty crucial part of modern operational management. Okay, let's unpack this.
Exactly. And it's more than just, understanding a specific technology. It's about grasping how businesses are evolving. You're moving beyond just collecting data points to really, truly understanding how their operations tick. It's giving them the power to adapt, to optimize, and really thrive in what's becoming a very complex digital world. Seeing not just the what, but that critical why behind it all.
Okay, so let's start right there. What is really fueling this big demand for process monitoring software right now? What are businesses looking for that these tools deliver?
Well, at its core, I think it comes down to a fundamental need for operational efficiency and, crucially, real-time visibility. The days when companies could just wait for a static, maybe month-old report, those are pretty much gone. They need to know what's happening now. And what's fascinating here, I think, is seeing companies move beyond just passively collecting data to actually intervening in real time based on what they see. For example, our sources talk about uncovering these dark processes, the unofficial workflows that often chew up resources without anyone noticing. There was one case, a large insurance firm, that used this software and found this hidden manual step in claims adjustment. It was adding almost a week to their processing time.
Wow, a whole week?
Yeah, and costing them something like 8% of the related labor budget. And this was completely invisible in their old reports, the aggregated ones. So finding that allows them to act fast, improve how different teams work together, and ultimately cut costs just by lighting up these previously unseen bottlenecks.
That real-time aspect is clearly a massive draw. But, okay, what happens when businesses are also pushing hard into automation? That feels like another huge driver, right?
Oh, absolutely. That's a key piece. As organizations bring in more tech, like robotic process automation, RPA, basically software bots doing repetitive tasks and other digital workflows,
Mm.
well, they need really solid tools to make sure these automated systems are actually working as planned. Process monitoring solutions can integrate right alongside them.
So it's like oversight for the robots.
Kind of, yeah. It provides that critical visibility and accountability. But it's not just checking if the bots are running. It's about confirming that the whole automated process is delivering. Is it more consistent? Is compliance better? Is overall efficiency genuinely boosted? Where you can show that using the monitoring data, it drives more investment because the ROI is clear.
Right, makes sense. And then there's the factor that's often, well, non-negotiable for businesses. Regulatory compliance and managing risk. I imagine process monitoring is vital there.
It really is. A critical driver, especially in sectors under intense scrutiny, think healthcare, finance, manufacturing. These industries face huge regulatory pressures. Process monitoring software helps them directly. It provides detailed audit trails, automatic alerts if things deviate from the standard, structured reporting.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Think about a bank needing to demonstrate compliance with anti-money laundering rules for every transaction. The software can create this kind of immutable log step by step, which drastically cuts the risk of violations and just generally strengthens their governance. So if you zoom out a bit, you see compliance isn't only about dodging fines, it's really about building operational trust and resilience, especially in those high-stakes environments.
Okay, so we've definitely seen the powerful why behind the growth, but even with all that momentum, it can't all be smooth sailing. What are some of the big hurdles businesses face when they try to adopt this tech?
Yeah, that's true. One of the biggest obstacles you hear about is the high implementation and integration costs.
Yeah.
For a lot of companies, especially maybe smaller or medium-sized ones, the upfront investment can be pretty substantial.
It's not just the software license itself, then.
No, exactly. It's the licensing, sure, but also the IT resources needed, the support to actually connect the new software to maybe older existing legacy systems. That can be complex and costly. And those costs can definitely make some businesses hesitate. It does raise that question, how do businesses with tighter budgets manage this? How do they bridge that gap?
And tied into that, there's the whole data privacy and security angle. These tools, by design, are looking at potentially sensitive information across the business. I mean, customer details, internal financials. So what does that mean for data safety and, our trust in it?
It's a really significant concern, no doubt. Without really strong protections, companies open themselves up to cybersecurity threats, or they could fall foul of strict regulations like GDPR in Europe.
Because the tools see everything.
Precisely.
Yeah.
That's their power. But it's also the risk that everything often includes confidential data, PII, personal information. So it adds this layer of complexity. You need robust encryption, careful access controls, clear policies on how long data is kept, especially if you're handling highly sensitive stuff. It requires careful planning.
And beyond the tech and the money, there's often that very human element, resistance to organizational change. I imagine if employees hear monitoring software, it might not always land well.
No, it absolutely can stir things up. You might see fears about micromanagement or employees feeling like they're losing their autonomy, maybe even concerns about job security down the line. And those worries can really hit morale and, importantly, make adopting the software much harder.
So how do companies navigate that?
Well, the sources really emphasize being proactive. You need open communication, good training that actually shows employees how the tool can help them, maybe by automating tedious parts of their job,
Right.
and a clear message that the goal is empowerment, using insights to make work better, not just surveillance or replacing people. It's as much a leadership challenge as a technical one. Needs empathy.
All right, so we've covered the present, the drivers, the bumps in the road. Let's look ahead now. What future trends are really reshaping this market? Where is this all going?
Okay, yeah. A major trend definitely is the deeper integration of AI and predictive analytics. Process monitoring tools are getting much, much smarter. They're using machine learning not just to see what happened, but to learn patterns and actually predict future events.
Predict, like what sort of predictions?
Imagine a system that doesn't just flag a bottleneck after it occurs, but forecasts that a specific process is likely to hit a delay next week based on current loads and past data. They can spot subtle anomalies humans might miss entirely and even suggest improvements before a problem really takes hold. It's transforming monitoring from being reactive to being proactive intelligent. Continuous optimization.
Wow.
Yeah, what's really fascinating is that shift,
Yeah.
from just observing to actively predicting and guiding things, almost like having foresight into operations.
And alongside that intelligence boost, we're seeing more cloud-based scalable solutions popping up everywhere, which, well, that just makes perfect sense for how we work now.
Exactly right. These cloud platforms are generally easier to deploy. You can access them from anywhere, which is obviously huge for organizations with teams spread out.
No need for massive server rooms for this stuff anymore.
Pretty much, yeah. Instead of needing dedicated servers on-site and complex installs, businesses can often just subscribe to a service. They can scale it up, scale it down as needed. This whole cloud-first approach really centralizes management, makes scalability smooth. It's changing how the software is delivered and maintained, cuts down IT overhead, makes powerful monitoring more accessible.
And finally, there's the undeniable impact of hybrid and remote work. That seems like a massive catalyst right now.
Oh, without a doubt. As teams become more geographically scattered, businesses absolutely need reliable ways to oversee those distributed workflows, to keep everyone connected and productive. Process monitoring software helps managers keep that crucial visibility. Track tasks, ensure accountability across maybe different time zones, keep productivity up wherever people are working.
It's like the digital equivalent of walking the factory floor.
In a way, yes, it provides that essential single pane of glass view of operations, even when the team is global. So looking at the bigger picture, process monitoring isn't just tracking tasks anymore. It's really becoming a key enabler for this more flexible global workforce, making sure remote work is still effective work.
Well, that was certainly an illuminating deep dive. We've really journeyed through the core drivers pushing process monitoring software forward, navigated some of those tricky challenges in adoption, and got a glimpse of the exciting future trends. It seems pretty clear that as businesses keep digitizing, automating, adapting to, well, new ways of working, these monitoring tools are just going to become more and more essential, vital for anyone wanting to truly understand and optimize how things get done.
Indeed. And it does raise an interesting final question, doesn't it? As these systems get smarter, more autonomous, telling us more about our own operations,
Mm-hmm.
how do we make sure that the human element, our intuition, our creativity, stays central to interpreting the data, solving new problems, driving innovation, rather than us just being, well, managed by the machines?
That's a really powerful thought to end on. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive, exploring the hidden pathways within business operations. We hope you'll consider how these insights might apply in your own world and how understanding these tools could help you navigate your own operational frontier.